It is 11 at night. You are just completely drained.
Oh, yeah, that heavy feeling.
Right. Your eyes actually hurt. Your body feels like lead. But instead of turning off the lamp and going to sleep, you are trapped.
Yeah.
You are locked in that familiar, just 5 more minutes loop on your phone.
Always 5 more minutes, which turns into an hour.
Exactly. And then, before you even realize it, your alarm is just blaring at 5 in the morning, and you are filled with this immediate sinking dread.
It is the absolute worst feeling.
It really is. And we have all been there. You tell yourself you're going to be an early riser, you set the ambitious alarm, and yet almost everyone who tries to adopt an early schedule just fails within a week or two.
Yeah, the failure rate is huge.
Which is what I really want to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking about this quiet contradiction we all live with. Why do our own minds fight us so hard on this?
It is such a genuine mystery, isn't it? You want to sleep, but you just won't let yourself.
Right, and we tend to frame this as like a failure of nighttime discipline. We think we just lack willpower.
Oh, totally. Society tells us success means waking up at 4 a.m., right? So if you stay up, you feel like an imposter.
Yes. You feel this deep self-doubt, like, why can't I just close my eyes? But, lying in bed, exhausted but wide awake, scrolling through videos in that exact moment, it doesn't feel like a bad thing.
No, it feels good. It feels like freedom.
Exactly. Staying up late often feels like the only quiet time you get in a completely chaotic day.
I mean, think about the pressure we're under. If your whole day is driven by external demands, a loud boss, parental expectations, answering emails, just trying to keep up with comparison culture, your brain is completely starved for some sense of control.
That makes so much sense. It is like holding your breath underwater all day long.
Yeah.
And midnight is the first time you finally get to break the surface. You aren't going to just immediately close your eyes. You want to stay up and breathe for a second.
Right. It is not a lack of discipline at all. It is a rebellion. Your brain is just desperately trying to claw back some personal time. You are seeking out some quick comfort through a screen because the day gave you none.
Wow. A rebellion. That completely shifts the perception of it, because you sit there judging yourself thinking you have poor habits.
We are so hard on ourselves. We overthink our choices, but your mind is just looking for autonomy.
But there is another loop here too, right? Because sometimes I don't just scroll. Sometimes I decide to reorganize my entire kitchen at midnight.
Oh, the false productivity trap. I know it well.
Right. But what is that about?
It is this perfectionism loop.
Right.
Instead of just letting yourself rest, your brain creates this illusion of getting things done. You start cleaning or you mentally plan the next day.
Yeah, making lists in the dark.
Exactly. It feels productive, but it is actually just a delay tactic. It is a way to avoid the quiet of trying to fall asleep. And it quietly pushes your sleep back by hours.
And I imagine this pressure hits us differently depending on where we are in life.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you are in your late 20s trying to prove yourself, dealing with fear of failure.
Yeah, the cognitive load is just huge.
Right. And you carry this exhaustion into your 30s and 40s, and people start to just believe their brains are permanently broken.
I hear that from so many friends. They just say, well, I am a terrible sleeper now. That is just who I am.
Yeah. They think they are hardwired to fail at sleep. Is that true? Are we just stuck with the habits we build over decades?
Not at all. That is the most hopeful part of human psychology. Your mind and body are incredibly flexible. Even if you are 50 or 60, your internal systems can change. You are never fully stuck.
That is a relief.
Yeah.
Because the self-doubt under pressure is real.
It is. But if you want to find real clarity, you have to look at what is physically happening too.
Okay, let's look at that. So the mindset part, the desire for freedom, the rebellion is fighting for control. But why do we feel so physically wired but tired at night?
Well, it comes down to the master clock in your brain.
The internal clock.
Exactly. It manages this strict daily cycle. It controls the chemicals that wake you up and the ones that make you sleepy, and it regulates your mood, your digestion, everything.
And how does it know what time it is?
Its primary language is light.
Light. Okay, I was reading this analogy recently that just blew my mind. It described this internal clock as a conductor leading a massive orchestra.
Oh, I love that way of looking at it.
Right, like your liver, your muscles, your digestion. They're all the individual musicians in the orchestra.
Yeah, they all have their own little parts to play.
But they wait for the downbeat from the master conductor in the brain to know exactly when to play.
And when you are living in tune with nature, the whole orchestra plays in harmony. At night, digestion slows down, body temperature drops, sleepy chemicals rise.
But then we introduce phones and bright screens.
Right. When you stare at a bright blue-toned screen at 11 at night, the conductor gets totally confused.
Because the brain thinks that light is the sun.
Exactly. It thinks it is midday. So the conductor starts waving wildly, sending out these erratic signals, and the orchestra just starts playing completely out of time.
So the wired but tired feeling is just the biological noise of that confused orchestra.
You nailed it. It is conflicting signals.
Which triggered a huge realization for me. If my brain's clock is the conductor, then trying to use pure discipline at midnight is useless.
Totally useless.
It is like yelling at the violin section to play softer when the conductor is literally handing them the sheet music for a heavy metal solo because all the lights are on.
That is the perfect way to visualize it. You are using a tiny bit of conscious effort to fight a massive biological mandate.
And the biology will win.
Every single time. Which means relying on nighttime willpower is just a setup for failure.
So what do we do? If the night is a lost cause, how do we fix it?
Well, the most powerful shift you can make actually happens the moment you wake up.
Wait, really? The morning?
Yeah. Treating poor sleep by focusing on the night is only looking at half the problem. The real anger is the first hour of your day.
I have to be honest, I was super skeptical when I first heard that idea.
A lot of people are.
I mean, you are telling me the fix for my midnight struggle happens at 7 in the morning. It feels like trying to fix a leaky roof by watering your lawn.
I know it sounds backwards. But think about how the brain sets its daily timer.
Okay, walk me through it.
The single strongest signal your clock can get is morning sunlight hitting your eyes.
Like right after waking up.
Yeah, within the first hour. When natural light enters your eye, it sends a direct signal to the brain. It clears away that groggy feeling, sure, but more importantly, it starts a countdown clock.
A countdown for sleep.
Exactly. Roughly 12 to 14 hours after that sunlight hits your eyes, your brain is programmed to start releasing sleep chemicals.
Oh, wow. So if I stay in a dim bedroom all morning, just avoiding the light, I never start the timer.
Right. You never press start. So the sleep chemical gets delayed until 1 or 2 in the morning.
Which means I'm awake at midnight, overthinking every decision I made that day.
And judging yourself for not sleeping.
That is so wild. I have a friend, Sarah, who lived this exact cycle. She is in her 30s, working a really demanding job, and she fully believed she was just a natural night owl.
That is such a common perception.
She would lie awake until 2 a.m., just agonizing over the fact that she wasn't sleeping. The fear of not sleeping was actually what kept her awake.
Oh, sleep anxiety is brutal. It becomes a totally self-fulfilling loop.
Yes. And her mornings were just a miserable blur of hitting snooze and rushing out the door. But then she tried this morning light thing.
What did she do?
She didn't even try to force an early bedtime. She just decided to take her morning coffee outside for 10 minutes every day.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine.
Huh.
Just 10 minutes on her porch. She didn't change her nighttime habits at all at first. She still scrolled on her phone. But within a couple of weeks, just by getting that morning light, her body naturally shifted.
That is the power of the anchor.
She just started feeling genuinely tired earlier in the evening.
That is a beautiful example of finding an easier path. Because, willpower is a finite thing.
It really is. We only have so much of it.
Right. If you spend it all at midnight trying to force sleep, you are fighting a current. But if you spend a tiny bit of willpower at 7 a.m. just to step outside, you let your body do the heavy lifting for the rest of the day.
You are working with yourself, not against yourself.
Exactly. It is a huge mindset shift.
Okay, so morning light is the main anchor. But what happens when the sun goes down? Because I am usually sitting in a really bright living room at 10 p.m.
Well, your brain is treating those bright indoor lights just like the morning sun.
So I am accidentally resetting the timer at night.
Yes, you are. And this is where we can talk about making small changes to our habits. The color of your light matters a lot.
How so?
Warm, amber-toned lighting in the evening mimics a sunset. It gently tells the brain that night is coming. But bright, cool white lights, like the ones in most kitchens, they mimic the midday sun.
So having those bright kitchen lights on while I clean up after dinner is literally telling my brain it is noon.
Exactly. No wonder you can't wind down.
That makes so much sense. What about temperature? I know a cool room helps you sleep, but I heard that taking a warm shower before bed actually helps.
Yeah, that is a great little habit.
But I don't get it. How does a hot shower make you cooler? It sounds like a contradiction.
It does sound weird, but it is just how the body works. When you take a warm shower, the heat pulls your blood out to the surface of your skin.
Okay.
And then when you step out of the shower into a cooler room, all that heat just radiates off you. It escapes your body really fast.
Oh, I see.
So your core temperature drops quickly. And a dropping body temperature is a massive signal to the brain that it is time to sleep.
You are tricking your brain into thinking the sun went down and the air is getting cold.
Exactly. It is a gentle way to cue the system.
That is brilliant. Okay, so we have light, we have temperature. How does coffee fit into all this?
Oh, coffee, the beloved crutch.
Right. We all know it keeps us awake, but
Oh.
I never really understood how long it stays in the system.
Well, here's the thing about coffee. It doesn't actually give you new energy.
It doesn't.
No, it just hides your exhaustion.
Wait, explain that.
Throughout the day, your brain builds up this chemical that makes you feel tired. Let's call it sleep pressure.
Okay, sleep pressure.
The longer you are awake, the more pressure builds up. But caffeine blocks the receptors in your brain that feel that pressure.
It blocks the signal.
Yeah, it is like putting a piece of black tape over the empty gas light on your car's dashboard.
Oh, wow.
The tank is still emptying, the car still needs fuel, but you just can't see the warning light anymore.
That is a terrifying thought, honestly.
And the catch is how long that tape stays on the dashboard. Caffeine lasts for hours and hours in your system.
So if I have a cup at 2 in the afternoon,
Half of it is still blocking those signals at 8 at night, and a big chunk of it is still there at midnight.
so it is just quietly ruining my 11 p.m. bedtime, and I don't even realize the afternoon coffee is the real problem.
Right. You blame yourself, you think you lack resilience, but really it is just the coffee.
Wow. Okay, so we have all these things we can tweak, but how do we turn this into a real routine without just relying on brute force?
You have to make the good habits easy and the bad habits hard.
Removing friction.
Exactly. You want to leave a trail of breadcrumbs for your tired morning self.
Like what? What does that look like?
Put your phone charger in another room, leave your shoes right by the front door, have your coffee mug sitting out on the counter.
So you don't even have to think.
Right, if you have to search for your shoes or stumble around in the dark, you will just crawl back into bed. But if everything is ready, the easiest path leads you straight out the door to the sunlight.
I love that. And what about the evening? How do we remove the mental friction at night? Because the overthinking is real.
Oh, the overthinking is the hardest part. You lie there, and every awkward conversation you had just plays on a loop.
Yes, or you worry about all the things you didn't finish.
A really simple tool is to just write it down. Keep a piece of paper by the bed, write down the unfinished tasks, get the noise out of your head and onto the page.
It is like giving your mind permission to clock out.
Exactly. You are telling your brain, we don't need to hold on to this until tomorrow. It is safe on the paper.
That is such a gentle way to handle it. And I think consistency is a big theme here, too. Because doing this once won't fix years of staying up late.
No, it takes a little time. The body likes rhythm.
I heard about this guy, Michael, a father in his 40s. He was stuck in that bedtime rebellion we talked about.
So many parents are. It is the only quiet time they get.
Right. And he just assumed his energy was declining because of his age. But he decided to try making one change. He just kept his wake-up time exactly the same every single day, even on Saturday and Sunday.
The weekend consistency is huge.
He didn't even try to change his midnight bedtime. He just woke up at the same time.
And I bet the body just followed along.
It did. In just about 10 days, because the morning anchor was steady, his whole system aligned. He just started naturally craving sleep earlier.
See, the body wants to heal. It wants to find balance.
Which brings up a really important point about weekends. I want to bust some of the big myths we all cling to, starting with the weekend catch-up.
Oh, the famous sleep binge.
Yes. People say, well, I only slept 5 hours a night during the work week, but I will just sleep until noon on Saturday and ballast the books.
It is a nice thought, but it doesn't work that way.
Why not?
It creates something called social jet lag. When you sleep in for hours on the weekend, you are violently shifting your internal clock.
Like traveling across the country.
Exactly. When Monday morning rolls around, your brain feels like it just flew across 3 time zones. You aren't fixing your sleep debt. You are just ruining the timing for the entire next week.
So that is why Sunday night insomnia is so common. You lie there wide awake, panicking about Monday, because your brain thinks it is still the afternoon.
That is exactly why you shifted the anchor.
Okay, myth number 2, the 5-hour hustle culture special. You see these tech leaders and influencers online swearing they have trained their minds to function perfectly on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Are they lying? or are they just built differently?
Well, there is a very, very tiny fraction of the population with a rare genetic trait that lets them function on less sleep.
But it is super rare.
Incredibly rare. Almost everyone claiming to thrive on 5 hours is simply sleep deprived
Yeah.
and totally unaware of it.
Wait, how can they be unaware?
Because when you are constantly tired, your baseline perception shifts. You lose the ability to notice your own decline.
You forget what being fully awake feels like.
Right. You feel fine, but if you actually test their memory or their emotional resilience, they are significantly impaired. They're basically driving with a foggy windshield and claiming the weather is perfectly clear.
That is actually really scary.
Okay.
Because society rewards that behavior. We call it dedication.
We do, but it is just exhaustion disguised as discipline.
Okay, last myth. Myth number 3, the calm screen myth.
I hear this one all the time.
Me too. People say, I know screens are bad, but I watch relaxing nature videos on my tablet in bed. It is not stressful, so it helps me wind down.
It is a tricky one, because the emotional tone of the video does matter. A quiet nature show won't spike your stress like an action movie.
Right, your heart rate stays low.
But it completely fails to solve the physical problem. The light sensors in your eyes do not care about the plot of the video.
They just see the light.
Exactly. The blue light from the screen, no matter how calm the content is, sends a massive wake-up signal straight to the brain.
It doesn't care if you're watching a babbling brook or a baby panda.
Not at all. Your brain just sees the light and thinks, oh, the sun is up, time to go hunt and gather.
Wow. So it halts the sleep chemicals, leaving you physically awake even if your mind feels relaxed.
That is the trap.
So bringing this all together, if you are listening to this and you are just completely exhausted, fighting to fall asleep every night, I think the most important thing to take away is that this is not a moral failing.
No, it is not a lack of willpower.
You are not weak. You are just dealing with a signaling issue.
And you fix a signaling issue by changing the inputs you give your body.
Right. By shifting away from the frustration of the dark and leaning into the power of the morning.
Focus on getting that sunlight early, set the timer, keep your wake time steady, even on the weekend.
Watch out for the afternoon coffee.
Yeah, and use the warm shower to drop your temperature. Stop fighting yourself. Let your body do the heavy lifting in the daylight.
It is so empowering to realize you don't have to just white-knuckle your way through life.
It really is. It takes the shame out of it.
Which brings me to a final thought I want to leave everyone with. We just spent this time talking about how something as stubborn and frustrating as a lifelong sleep habit can be completely rewired.
Just by changing a few small cues in your environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Standing by a window, changing a light bulb.
Yeah.
It is incredible. And if a supposedly permanent trait, like being a night owl, is actually that flexible, what other permanent flaws in your life are actually completely changeable?
That is a great question.
What other parts of your daily routine are just waiting for you to change the signals you send your brain? Think about that tonight at 11 p.m. when you are tempted to watch just one more video.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Geeks Mindset has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same thoughtful way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life. And it helps Geeks Mindset reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Geeks Mindset logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Mindset Support Circle. Your support helps honest mindset awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Geeks Mindset moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.